Hello, well it's wonderful to see the sun. It's not always been too sunny recently where I am, but I've just arrived in the wonderful city of New York. It's a place that I wish I could visit far more often than I do for all sorts of reasons. And one of those is that this is the home base of a quite remarkable woman called Monica Prata, who I don't know if it's fair to say she is unique in terms of what she does. I'm not sure that's quite right, but she's certainly quite a rare and special person. And she basically acts as a consultant to the transgender community, and particularly working a lot with people who are transitioning or who are gender fluid, and has become really quite an expert in this field. She's a great observer, she's a great coach, and her advice, I've met her once or twice before, has always been quite remarkable, very invaluable, and particularly having someone that is so sensitive in observing you and giving careful feedback, I think is critical, and clearly many people have been helped by her support and advice. So what I'm rather hoping we do today is actually, especially since it is such a wonderful, lovely day, is to go out. And I'm sure that Monica is going to have a lot of very useful tips and observation about how, for example, I hold myself, and a lot of the subtle things that I would miss. So I think it's going to be a time packed with a lot of wisdom and knowledge. I'm probably not going to be making a lot of video as we go. There'll be some to give a bit of a flavour of this experience of being with Monica, but the focus is very much going to be on listening to her and taking her feedback. So looking forward to this. I shall report back shortly.
So here we are with Monica in the most amazing place, right near, it's Union Square here, isn't it?
It is Union Square,
yeah. Right, so absolutely right in the centre of town, really. And it's great to see Luna again.
And Luna is delighted to see you as well. As we can see, she has her little paws on your back.
She does, yeah. She's had a walk, so she's always great company. And we've been discussing what perhaps we might do today in the time we have available. And the suggestion is that we try and go and, would you say, celebrate this person, whether Anya is seen by the world as trans or a woman or whoever. Or some crazy person, but just go and celebrate.
Yeah, I think.
And
just be seen.
Just be seen.
Just be comfortable being seen.
Being comfortable, and I think that's something that I and an awful lot of people in our community really have a great challenge with, is confronting this and thinking, oh, I don't pass, or I'm not doing everything right all at once, and becoming very self-conscious, and because of that either just kind of becoming closeted and hiding away and not allowing yourself to even begin to have expression, but also it's just that the expression is going to be totally constrained, isn't it? Your person is going to be totally constrained.
Yeah, you kind of prevent that flow of femininity, that flow of energy, and that comes out in everything from somebody's smile to their eye contact to the way they move their body, right? It's like it's a restriction from them.
Yeah. So I think that's probably what we're going to try and do, and we don't have to go far.
Not at all.
We can always run back. There's always plenty of cabs around.
I think it would take longer to get back here in a cab than it would just to walk. Yeah.
So
but we'll bring Luna, so you'll have your puppy
there we
protector.
Are. There's kind of a distraction. And I should know already, because the last time I went out here, we were just reflecting on this, as in London, nobody notices, do they really? In the
No.
main? Nobody notices.
Everyone's got their own thing going on.
They do. And even if they do, generally speaking, I was just reflecting, I think I've only noticed that once or twice, and perhaps there has been the odd raised eyebrow, or, you know, possibly the odd little smirk or whatever once or twice, but there's also been perhaps one or two people that have given a very nice smile.
Yeah.
Perhaps they're a little bit curious, and
but I think you have to be receptive to the positive just in the same way that
Yes.
so many are receptive to that potential negative, right? If you're totally blocked from whatever anybody is seeing or thinking or feeling of you, you miss a lot of really great moments and special connections with the world around you. It really
Yes.
limits that experience of femininity. So I think we're going to just
so it's
focus
about
on that.
building
Yeah,
building confidence, really, isn't it? And just
100%.
allowing yourself to be you.
definitely.
So
That's all it is.
Let's do it.
Cool. All right, we'll check back in.
We'll check back in as Anya. So here we are. What is it now? An hour or two later, maybe? Possibly long. I'm losing track of time.
Oh, to be fair, we gave you a facial.
We did, yeah. It was much needed because of my very dry skin, and it's made a big difference. And actually, it was a comment I made, is actually just a sense of feeling softer. That sort of helps with the self-awareness and self-confidence a little bit. So it's one of these little things, and it obviously avoids quite heavy covering and so on, which can be not very good.
Yeah, the key is to moisturize every day. And if you have it in you, moisturize twice a day,
Which
please.
is what I'm not very good at. But
No, especially when you travel, make sure that you moisturize more because airplanes are so dry. It just like sucks the moisture out of your face. So drink like tons of water and even put some moisturizer like on while you're in the plane. So it's a good move.
that's a good move.
Otherwise your skin will flake off like Anya's.
And we've had discussions about all sorts of things that almost too numerous to remember in one go, but a lot of very useful tips and observations, I think. And particularly just now, before we go out fairly briefly, and we're in a great location for being near the park, and we're going to walk Luna, hopefully. A lot of focus on I think one thing that's come through is this real freedom in the body. I mean, we've spoken in quite a lot more detail, and we've looked at various exercises and Pilates type activity and ways of becoming more aware of how the body is moving. So particularly with holding posture, standing posture, and with walking. It's going to take an awful lot of practice, but some quite useful ways of thinking about it. And I love this idea of, the idea of the freedom, this unlocking.
It's release in the body and mind when you're in femme.
So this real tension that I often have, and kind of the freedom to let go as best I can, is one of the things maybe to just try and practice a little bit as we go out just now.
I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
We'll
And
see.
you're going to see her walk because I'm going to make a video.
Yeah, we're going to be not talking a lot, I think, aren't we? We're going to be passing.
We're going to be more experiencing.
You've
and
given me a few little cues that I've just got to remember.
Yeah. You're
what I
going to be
should be
walking
doing.
Luna, and I'm going to be filming you and Luna.
Brilliant. So, the sun's still shining, so I think we should head off.
Hit the road. All right. Bye.
See you in a while.
She's a terrible walker. Not the Anya, but the Luna. She doesn't want to leave me. There she is. So right now Anya is focusing on a couple different things. The primary thing that she's focusing on is her pelvic tilt. and really keeping it in a neutral or what feels like to her a back position. And then also keeping her shoulders down and back because she tends to hold a lot of tension in her upper body. And she's struggling with Luna as Luna tries to get this bagel. There she goes. So she does a nice job with the length of her stride and keeping her feet relatively close to one another, although as you see as she's walking down this hill, she has a tendency to turn her toes out a little bit. Now we have a whole bunch of children, it's gotten very loud. So she's resetting right now.
So here we are now out in the sun in Union Square?
Union Square Park, yeah.
Union Square Park, a lovely place to be. And it's a buzz with life on this sunny afternoon.
Yeah.
And as before, I don't think anybody has
Nobody
said a
cares.
rude word. Nobody. And having Luna with us has been quite
Don't
a
worry,
focus
she's still
for
here.
attention. So this is all you need if ever you are lacking self-confidence.
You just need a cute little
you just
dog.
need a cute little dog. And even if people give you a little second look, then they're very quickly going to start looking and talking about your dog.
That's true.
This is what I found. So I'm feeling really quite at ease, actually. I'm feeling really, I think what we've done before, especially focusing a lot on the movement,
Yeah.
and the thing you told me, and that's what I was remembering a lot.
Been focusing on it.
Focusing a lot and trying to keep that in mind, and just one thing I usually used to do is worry about what my arms are doing and what my
Yeah.
hands are doing, and I'm actually not so focused on that.
Worry less,
Yeah.
and your walk will be more natural.
And especially on an afternoon like this where you are in such a free and open place, the wind is blowing and you're here. This is a great dress, actually.
Feels good, right?
It feels good because it's got this nice sort of open spread, hasn't it?
Yeah.
If that's the
It's
right
an
word.
A-line dress.
So yeah, feeling that I want to be expressing myself freely and openly. And certainly this little practice has been really quite a confidence booster, I think.
It's been a lot of fun, and if you get a chance, I don't know if the video is usable, but if it is, you'll see it. You'll see that Anya's focusing on a couple specific things, and that's like keeping her shoulders kind of down and back, really walking and moving with a very like open posture, right? So because one thing that people often do when they're feeling tense or uncomfortable is to really close off and hunch over, and they think that they're hiding themselves, but in actuality, when you do that, you really end up actually drawing more attention to yourself because you look like you're hiding something, and then you look like a suspicious character walking down the street. So she was focusing on that, and then also not leading with her pelvic area and really kind of walking with a more neutral or back set stance, and that just really kind of shifts the entire way the body moves and flows.
So what was it called? The pelvic?
I call it a pelvic tilt, and so it's
yes.
sort of this concept of an isolation and really working on understanding, like having that mind-body connection between, you know, what that muscle group feels like and what it looks like, right? So that's the big problem, is that I tell people to, you know, tilt it back, and they're like, well, what does that even mean? But you can figure out what it means by trying it on your own, and it's super helpful. and can really change the way you move. And so it's something that I hope that Anya will continue practicing when she gets home.
Definitely got to remember. That was an awful lot to remember.
It was. But the nice thing about practicing your feminine walk is that you can practice it 24/7 because nobody knows. This is pelvic tilts all day.
We're going to leave coming down the stairs till next time, I think.
Yes, it's maybe the third or fourth lesson.
And actually, while we've been sitting here, I mean, there've been dozens of people going by. We're sitting on a park bench opposite other people on a park bench. We're sitting next to people.
Yeah.
And a few people are watching the world go by. They're watching us probably amongst watching the world go by, but there's nobody staring.
Nobody's
focusing, or so I think it's when you get this little bit of confidence going, and also if you do get the odd little snigger or whatever, because when we started off, I don't know why, my shoes are usually very comfortable, but for whatever reason they weren't
slipping a bit.
They were slipping a bit, and so that was a bit of a distraction. Maybe I gave myself away a little bit there. I don't know, but
even if you did, it doesn't matter.
If I did, it doesn't matter, because you might raise a smile. So there's nothing wrong with that.
You raise a smile, and ultimately, you're out there, you're being yourself, you're being authentic, you're being true to who you are, and I think that's empowering for everybody
that is the thing.
To see.
It's about really getting into a sense of being yourself and feeling, and not trying to mimic anybody else and be someone that you're not. So thoroughly recommend a visit to Union Square and 14th Street.
Yeah, come to 14th Street. Come say hi.
See you next time.
Bye.
Bye-bye. So I've just left Monica's, and my goodness, what a day. How much we packed in and how much I need to go away and reflect upon and write down and practice, really. And some wonderful advice that I do need to start putting into practice on a daily basis, whether or not I'm giving expression to Anya or Chloe. So that includes things like very good skincare. And I think it's been particularly useful today just to allow myself to be me, to be Anya, to express myself, and as much as I can not to care too much what other people think. So if I don't pass because I'm not good in deportment, or in terms of looks, or whatever it is that is concerning me, if it lets other people have a little bit of a smile, and if it doesn't cause me too much distress, then this is great. This is who I am. And I don't have to be the perfect female mimic or whatever. And I think actually when you get into this mode, when you actually allow yourself to express yourself, to be free, to have fun, to allow your authentic inner self to come out, actually that's what people see and can relate to. So there were many things that we did today. The video only covered a very, very small amount. We spent quite a lot of time looking at deportment and considering various exercises and tricks actually for really building a better body awareness. So I do need to really dwell on those and see if I can actually be mindful of them in the future. It certainly gave me an awful lot of confidence as Anya when we came out here into this very busy part of New York. In actual fact, the fact it is busy and the fact it is full of people doing all sorts of things, street dancing and protesting and campaigning and whatever they're doing, selling CDs and artwork and what have you, makes it all the more an interesting place to blend and be a part of the great buzz and energy of life that is so much a part of this city. So I'm very much looking forward to hopefully seeing Monica before too long. She does occasionally drop across the ocean to the UK and Europe, but hopefully I will be back in this city before too long.